ready at my end.
Okay, ready to go? Okay. Well, this will be my first time with this part of it.
Yay!
Yay, Vaughn!
Calling this meeting to order.
Way to go.
Okay, first item on the agenda is to approve
The agenda.
the agenda. Do we have anyone?
And no late items.
And no late items, okay.
The late items.
Do we have anyone to,
I'll move adoption of the agenda. Approval, I mean.
okay? Seconder? Maureen,
Second.
okay. Anybody against, or what's the word?
All in favor.
Opposed?
All in, anybody opposed? No, okay. Adopted. Quickly, the minutes of the January 25th meeting. Does anybody have any comments on that? No, okay,
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
okay, approved. All right, is,
All in favor?
oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, adopted. Is Claudia on the,
She's just texting saying it's BIMTech. I'm saying, come on in anyways. Maybe Daniel can go.
What about public comments? Do we have any of those?
I don't see anyone.
and Tatiana is,
That's Rod. So
Rod.
why do people who are black screen, is there a reason we're not in the meeting?
Yeah. Hey guys. Good morning. I'm not able to get audio or video on my computer, so
Okay.
I'm looking at the screen in case we do screen shares on my computer. That's Titania, and then I'm also on my phone listening and talking to you. So that's how I
Okay.
see it.
Thanks, Rod. Marcus, are you okay? Is everything, you on a ferry or?
Yeah, I'm good. Just lots of stuff going on in the background here. So
Okay.
I don't see Daniel on the agenda, so I'm a little bit confused.
No, I was just joining just to listen. It was more, I was just curious.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't remember, Steph, if I had my thing on the agenda this meeting, but I'm next
Oh.
meeting, so I'm okay.
You didn't have a root canal scheduled?
Not scheduled, no.
Well, hopefully you don't need one either.
Okay, do we think that Claudia is coming on, or should we move
Yeah,
move on to the next
She's
one?
coming. Here she is.
Okay. Good morning.
Sorry about that confusion.
That's okay. It wouldn't let me in originally, but now it is, so that's great.
Thank you for coming.
Claudia, so we have 15 minutes to talk about the Goldpages.
Well, would you like me to just give you a preamble of what's happening this year?
Sure, that'd be great, thanks.
Okay. So I took over the Goldpages from Barbara Wiltshire in January. So I am trying to do a bit of a catch up because she normally gets started in November for the next year. So, but I think I've made good headway, and I'm finding that because of COVID, some businesses are not wanting to list this year. They might have been hit hard because of the pandemic. But there are also new businesses on Bowen Island. So I think we'll have a good book this year with lots of art, and I'm going to offer a few pages to artists on Bowen that generally can't afford to spend money on advertising. So they're almost they're hardly ever represented in the past phone books. So I thought that would be a nice little feature section on artists from, whether they're painters, singers, sculptors, theater people, hopefully have a little photograph with each of them showing their work or a portrait of them. So yeah, things are going well, and I'd love to know any questions, comments you have on the 2021 book.
A very personal one. I've had an 18-year-old expired email address in there for years, and I can how do I update it? Just send you a note?
Yes, absolutely. I have been posting on Facebook, on Bowen Island, everything else, asking people to check the 2020 book. If it's not correct, then please let me know. So it's a pretty simple email. It's bowenphonebook@gmail.com.
I'm putting that in the chat.
Thank you. And,
Okay.
And I'll be continuing with that social media campaign to, I've asked if people know of anyone who doesn't live on Bowen anymore, who's moved away or passed on, if they could let me know so that I can take those names out, keep the book up to date and current. And lots of people have dropped their landline, so now they just have a cell phone. So I'd like them to get in touch with me, and then I can take out their old discontinued numbers and yeah, keep it current.
I guess that's kind of difficult, isn't it? You sort of have to depend on people to let you know if they're new and they want to be in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't even know for the first year there is a book, right?
Yeah, I know it is difficult. I am getting them filtering in, mostly new people rather than people who have been here a long time and their numbers might be incorrect. But the new people are kind of keen. They're and I usually write back that it's a rite of passage to be in the book once you move to Bowen Island. So there's some people that are quite excited to get their number in the phone book.
Hey, Claudia, just a couple questions and a comment. Thank you for featuring artists in the book. That's great. How will you choose, which ones you're going to feature?
It's not meant to be a section that features artists, in that I'm not going to judge who goes in. I put a call out, and I mean, it's just early stages, so I'll be putting out several reminders, but it's for any artist in any capacity to contact me, and they can be listed in there. So it depends how many people come forward as to how much space I can give each individual. But my hope is that, I can have a little photo, whether it's, representing their art, or if they're a theater performer, then, a portrait shot or something like that. So, maybe I should talk to you, Jamie, about membership, and if there's a way for BIAC to put a call out to artists, letting them know that this is available to them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, is we could probably help a little bit with reaching out to artists that may not be on Facebook or social media.
Yes, I know that is the problem.
That we're missing. So if you want, just send us or send me the call out basically, and then we can forward it to our artist list.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And then my other question is, I've been here for 10 months. Am I allowed to be in the book now? Did I make it? Am I part?
Well, you've gone through most of the winter, so there's the key.
Oh yeah.
If
Okay.
it was
All
still
right.
summer, I might say, maybe next year. No, of course.
And
Every resident on the island can have a number in the book, and it's not per household, it's per person. So quite often, two people, whether it be a couple or what have you, they might have different last names. So they each get a listing. They might have different cell phones You know, it's not just one household phone number anymore. So yes, each individual does. I haven't extended that to teenagers. So it's adults on the island get that number listed. And there is an email section of the book, which I think will start to get to be used more and more. It's the yellow pages in that section of the book. And so that is also free, one per person to put there. If it's a business that they're promoting, the email is still free, but in the white pages where the residents are listed, then that has a small fee of $25.
And what's the drop dead deadline? Just
Well,
Do it today.
I have.
Do it right now while we're talking. Just send her an email.
no, I just need to know in general, not for me.
Yes, yes. Well, I have been putting on the order form that it's February 28th, but I have some leeway there. If you know, it's Bowen, so if you don't give a deadline, you will never get anything in. To me, like there won't be anything coming in. So February 28th, but again, I don't know that I'll have all the pieces I need from everyone, you know, ad work and so on by then. So I'll be just starting, you know, production of the actual book. And so I'm telling you as a committee that there's some leeway there. I'm not yet putting that out to the public in the hopes that, you know, they have a couple weeks to send me something. So
Claudia, do you actually contact everybody that's in the book to make sure the listings are valid, or is this like an honor system where you assume that if you don't hear from people, their information is valid still?
it's the latter. It's the honor system. I don't think I'll be calling every number. It's just it's too onerous. But having said that, I'm a little bit of you know, I want it to be as good as it possibly can be. So if I find I have time before going to press, then I probably will be calling a bunch of numbers. Maybe I'll focus on the 947 numbers. I can also do reverse lookup, so that will hopefully, that could speed things up, just to make sure it's an actual operating line. But that's, you know, that's still thousands of numbers. So no, the idea is that you know, hopefully people, it's been in the undercurrent, it's you know, going to be on social media, it has been. So hopefully I will get enough feedback. And you know, hopefully those are the people who care enough about whether their entry is correct will make the effort to get in touch with me. And if they don't care, then they don't care, and not too much I can do about that. They do have the choice, as you probably know, a number of people do put their address in there, but some people choose not to, and it's not a requirement. I don't put it in there without them providing it to me with the deliberate intention that it be added. So I have had someone raise that concern, like, you know, where are you going to put my address? And no, absolutely not. If that's not what you want, you just want your number, that's fine.
Does Rod have his hand up?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. Hi. Hey, Claudia. And terrific. Congratulations on taking over the Goldpages. Such a institution and an important part of our island fabric and communication.
Yes, thank you.
I have all kinds of ideas and questions. And so, but I just want to make a comment that you know, in our role as the Community Economic Development Committee, we're thinking, of course, about the health of businesses on Bowen, but also, you know, how our community is becoming more resilient, you know, through the economy and the local economy, a sharing economy, and you know, all these ideas are percolating around, and also, you know, again, supporting diversity and inclusiveness and accessibility. All these things are really important to the health of our community. And I see the gold pages as being a connecting point for so many things, and possibly more than it's done in the past. So so as I said, I have lots of ideas, but what I was I guess wanted to focus on, you said that for is it a white page business listing? So that would be the basic inclusion in the phone book for a business would be $25. That's not an ad, it's just to have a line item for the business. Is that right?
Correct. And that's
Yeah.
a line item in the actual white pages, which is just the phone number of residents and businesses in the section. What is separate is the business directory in the sort of the center of the phone book. And that's where there's advertising space for businesses. Okay.
And so if a business has been listed in the past with a phone number or an email address, and they don't get in touch with you or respond to your inquiry or whatnot, and pay the $25, they won't be included this year at all?
That's a little up in the air. I haven't, I did think that, I might not be able to go through all the residents' phone numbers, but I will go through the business ones, make sure they're correct, and that they are just like all the other businesses that are listed there, have looked at a proof and paid the $25. So I hope that yes, all the business listings there will be current. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay. Good. No, that's good. I just wanted to. I was hoping that businesses would have a wide opportunity. The other thing in the way that we function as a committee, and we come up against, or not against, but we in our direction, we're not able to support specific businesses, but we very much are tasked with how can we help business prosper in general on Bowen Island, especially local business connecting to local people. And we have, and I don't know the number off the top of my head, Stef can correct me, but around 400 business licenses on Bowen. And so $25 and 400 businesses is $10,000 of revenue, I think, if my numbers are correct. So just wanted to presence that as a piece. And if business has registered, they've paid a license fee and so on. Now, in the time of COVID, and again, this is my mind just sort of running with the business directory and possibilities, and so I'm just laying them what's coming to my mind out. But I think there's a really room for discussion between this committee in supporting business in the community and the gold pages overall. So if we have 400 businesses with business licenses, my hope would be is that all those businesses would be in the gold pages. Because those are bona fide, registered, and licensed businesses in our community. Now, in the time of COVID, there's a lot of support for economic revitalization and new initiatives, and I don't know exactly how the gold pages could benefit from that and also benefit the community, but for instance, as an example, one program that I don't know if you're aware of, but there's a Taking Your Business Online, $7,500 grant program that might be full now, but it just was announced, and there are other opportunities. And one of the things that 20 years ago now, I think, when I was first listed in the gold pages and talked to Barbara, that I found was really beneficial was earlier on in the digital age, Barbara had an online listing, and her listing actually got indexed quite well by Google and other search engines, and so I was able to get profile for my website, which I had created, because I had an online listing in the gold pages. Now, today is a different day. And, you know, some of the challenges that you face connecting with individuals and businesses, you know, to get them to renew and update their information, you know, that's a ripe area for more of an e-commerce or online type solution. So I just want to throw that out there too, and hope that we can continue the discussion. You know, I'm happy to talk to you, but you know, maybe as a committee too, and think about how the Goldpages could better serve our community. You know,
So
even
why
more
not
so
just increase the business license fee $25 and automatically put everybody that files for a business license in the Goldpages?
Well, it's certainly a discussion that we should be having, I think. Yeah.
So maybe that's something that we can add as a committee to our next agenda as a committee discussion. And then come back to Claudia, maybe, you know, reach out directly with some ideas or something like that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So quite a number of things you brought up, Rod, that interested me. One is I'd certainly like to help out the smaller businesses that maybe, you know, don't think they can afford any kind of listing. I have had a couple where they, you know, they've been hit hard by COVID and wanted to pull out altogether because they had an ad in the business directory. And so I said, you know, that I would waive the fee to be that $25 fee to be in the white pages listing, so that they're, you know, people, I don't want to give examples, but, you know, people know the name of a business, so they don't need to necessarily look at it in the business directory, but they want, you know, it should still be somewhere in the book so that someone can look them up directly. And I was wondering what the rules are around the list of the 400 businesses that the municipality has on hand, that, you know, would there be justification for me to be able to see that list so that I could contact each of them and find out if they would like to be listed? One concern when you do have your conversation at your next meeting about, you know, increasing the business license to $50 and an automatic inclusion, there might be some businesses that, you know, would prefer not to be listed in there. You know, I can't think of offhand why that would be, but
I could give you an example, Claudia. I have a business license and I have an editorial services company, and my clients are not on Island, and I would not want to advertise on Island as an editor because I don't work with individuals anymore.
Right. So there you go.
Doubling my business license fee, I'd be annoyed about that.
Yeah, yeah, that was my first thought about, you know, yeah, doubling the fee. So just something to consider. Does anyone have any knowledge about how private that list is?
We've
So
got
it's
Daniel online. Maybe we should let him answer that one.
We actually, we have an online directory of businesses that have business licenses. And it's on our website. You can search for them.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
Yeah, Stef can send the link. And then we do have, like, as part of our application, we have a way people can indicate if they want their information to be part of that search or not.
I see, yeah.
So in terms of what contact information we have, it'll be what they've indicated that they want provided.
Okay,
but it is available.
Okay, great. And that reminds me of another point Rod made about the online directory. So I neglected to mention that. That is still up and running. It's the Bowen Online. It is the name, Bowen Online. It's at, the website is www.bowen-island-bc.com. Some of you may know it from the forum. That's the original Bowen online forum. It's still active. People do still use it. Not everyone wanted to go to Facebook, to Bowen Island, everything else. And there is a directory there. So a number of businesses are advertised there. It's usually what they have in the business directory hardcover phone book, they then put in this online directory. Now it is clunky, and there are some broken links and things, but Barbara is helping to try and fix those. But my goal is to totally revamp that site and make it a lot more user-friendly and just aesthetically pleasing and be a resource for islanders. So, if you're in town but you want to call that plumber on Bowen Island and you don't have your phone book with you, that everyone will know that they can just go to that website and all the Bowen listings will be there. And, one good thing about it, and I've had this comment like, oh, phone book, that's a dying business. And of course, we know that's not true on Bowen Island. But the other thing is, people don't, if they search Bowen Island plumber, because of Google, you'll get so many, off-island companies coming up, sponsored ads, this and that. You have to sift through to find the local plumber. So I'm hoping that by revamping the site, getting working nicely, that it will come up at, sort of the top hit when anyone searches Bowen Island for a business, let's say.
Yeah, that's great, Claudia. I just wanted to highlight that $7,500 grant program. The basic outline of it is that if you already have demonstrated revenue, I think it's a $30,000 minimum, then you can qualify. And as I said, the program is filling up, the last I've heard, but it may still have room. And to me, it's a perfect fit. You could actually hire a professional firm that could really bring that online section into the modern times.
That would be great. I mean, my priority right now, I would love to jump all over the website and try and work it into something better myself, something fabulous. But that's another steep learning curve. And right now, the pressure is on getting the book out in a timely manner. So I've had to focus on the book. So Rod, if you're able to...
I'm sending it now, Claudia.
Thank you. Send me that link about that grant. That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. And I don't know, Vaughn, you have, looking at the time, I'm sure, on our schedule. but I would like to propose that you reach out to myself and anyone else who's interested here to, whether it's after you get this book done or in process, whatever works for you. And certainly if you think our ideas are valuable, I think we probably can help with connecting some dots for you if you like.
I'm really open to all suggestions, things that bother people about the book in the past years. I'm really, I want to put my own mark on this. I want to have the community love it. So I'd really be happy to hear any comments or suggestions.
Great. Okay, thank you.
I just want to...
Oh, sorry, Jody.
Just one more quick point, Claudia. I know you're probably overwhelmed. Congratulations on taking this on. Daunting task, but I do want to second Rod's suggestion about that grant. You can put the application in, and you're not going to touch that until months. Like there will be a deadline, say a year from now, that you have to complete it. So don't feel overwhelmed that way. It's worth looking into. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye now.
Good luck.
Thanks, Claudia. So do we want to put on the next agenda another discussion about this, or? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, moving along. Buy local campaign.
It's sort of on the same topic. I'm just going to do a quick share screen on that. So just for just a buy local update, you guys have probably seen, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
So working with Sophie over the last couple of years in the buy local campaign, we have these beautiful images. I think they're pretty, especially the Valentine's Day one. And then discussing doing a buy local ad in the phone book. We sort of opted for more of an information-based content. So it's going to be sitting on someone's counter for 12 months. Instead of just like the one-off ad in your email or the undercurrent, this is really good information about the numbers associated with local and investing in local businesses. So it's less visual, but more wordy and more arithmetic. And that's what we landed on.
Are you
For the
going to
phone
keep?
Yeah, Elson, Councillor.
Oh, I am not unmuted. It says support BC suppliers, support BC's economy. Are you going to?
Well, that is so we are partnered with
That's the standard ad, right? Yeah.
yeah. And then we sort of had something more Bowen-y in there, but it just got quite crowded.
Yeah.
So we have just this at the bottom about Bowen businesses. And a reminder,
So,
if you can't get everything on Bowen, then at least try to stay.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have a comment? Councillor?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking the why buy local pops up and hits you. And the support Bowen businesses sort of gets lost with the size of the why buy local at the top.
Okay. Okay. Why buy local?
Maybe it's just a matter of,
Okay.
make it a little smaller maybe and make the bottom one a little bigger.
Okay.
You could change the header to why buy on Bowen,
Yeah.
Okay.
and that still works with the copy. And what's the source of this data? Is it all from BC Buy Local?
Yes. You don't like the data?
No, it's probably clear enough.
I think it's quite good. I mean, I don't think it's too, I think visually it's still very appealing, and it's, makes me want to sort of, check out some of those numbers. They're impressive. So overall, I think it's great, and it's great to have that, I think, in the book.
So maybe the local businesses header, the little pink one, needs to be BC businesses, which makes the data relevant because it's BC data.
Okay.
Local BC businesses or something, yeah. Other than that, I think I like that one. I certainly wasn't happy with the time-sensitive, date-sensitive ones. They're good ads, but they're time-specific. So this is more all year. You're right.
Yeah.
And Steph, this is coming out of our budget?
This is part of our budget, part of our buy local line item. We underspend on that. So it's
We had 2,500 budgeted.
Is it
so
going to be a
that
full
fits
page?
Yes. Yes, full page.
Oh,
And
it's a
right
full
at the
page.
beginning of the directory?
I don't know where it will go.
So it's full page. You said it was a full page
Yes.
size. Oh, great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think my thoughts were is how the email or the website to shop local should be really clear, so that if you're researching local businesses, you've got a website to go to that has all the local information, local business information. That's all. I thought it was just a small ad, but anyway.
So that's
actually a good idea. Maybe
to, or the other one? When you're talking about a website, Jamie.
Oh, Steph, can you share that again?
Sure.
In that circle logo, there was a website noted in it.
bcbuylocal.com.
Yeah, and so will that I can't see it, it's too small, but
Well, they have a link to our Island Comeback site, right? Which is really the only online directory we have of businesses, right?
Well, the No Tourism Bowen Island site, it's got a nice directory.
Oh, okay.
And
then
so
we
does
should-
the Goldpages. That their directory's still online.
Yeah, and we should also get our search page on there. I've made a note that we just sent to Claudia.
yeah,
So
there
if you've
just
got a
should
full
be some.
page, you've got room underneath Support Bowen Business to put some of those website links.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
the Island Comeback link should be pretty easy to get to from bcbylocal.com, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But if you can go directly to it without having to go through BC Buy Local, that would be good too.
Yes.
Okay.
You could even put the link to the Bowen website business licenses.
Yes, I made a note of that.
Yeah.
So I guess I just want to make sure it gets back to Sophie that the committee really likes what's being done here. I think that's accurate.
Oh yeah. No, the design consultant has to sign off on it.
I think, because I just moved here, it was fairly soon in arriving that I found that book, that phone book. I was really impressed because I think a paper copy phone book is still really relevant, especially in a small community like this.
Yeah.
But before I moved here, I tried to do research on what Bowen Island is and what businesses were here and what services were available, and like gyms and yoga studios and things like that. And it was a little bit hard for me to find much information and to find a website that sort of had everything. So I'm just speaking from someone new coming to the island and how I was able to navigate my way around. And it was a little bit challenging. So this kind of ad would have enticed me probably to look at the ad and then search some websites that were suggested to find out more.
Well, I think that is one of the things that is so nice about the directory, right? It's not just about listing people and businesses, it's organizations, there's a lot of information included about the community, right?
Yeah.
It's a great community resource in general. It'd be nice if the whole thing was online somehow, but again, I see the it's nice to have also the book to have in your hand kind of thing.
Barbara made an EPUB version of the directory available, so you could actually order that for something like $5.
Oh, okay.
And it was searchable, easy to use.
Oh, wow.
So I'm hoping that Claudia continues with that as well.
But that's not available by just searching the web, which I think is what Jamie was trying to say. She couldn't find a lot of information.
Yeah, it is available. It was available as an option on the forum page. So, but you really would need to know how to navigate yourself around a little bit.
Oh, there's Rod.
You're on mute, Rod.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I touched something on my phone and the camera came on. So there you go.
Okay, that's all. Thank you so much for your comments on that. I will share them with Sophie, and also that she's doing a great job as usual. Thank you very much.
Okay, we can move on to the Community Economic Development Plan Working Group project update. Maureen, do you want to talk about that?
I think my name was just put down next to it by
the
illustrious committee clerk. Many members of the working group are sitting right here. So maybe I'll just recap where we are in terms of the schedule, and the rest of you could contribute with sort of how you're feeling things are going so far and where we might need some input. So just looking at the work plan, we met with the consultants from H&K back in December, and had a kickoff meeting, and then began our rubber hits the road meetings in January. We have met a couple of times with the folks from H&K. There were 3 of them, David and Vince and Jordan. And there are some other folks who sort of come in and out depending on the focus of the meeting. And so far, Vince has worked quite closely with Sophie on developing some of the key messages for the plan. And they're working currently on developing the engagement materials for the plan. We're probably about a week away, give or take a bit, from the public launch of the community engagement on the plan. And the last meeting that we had with them was feedback on the key messages to the community, and also some feedback on what we felt worked and did not work in a Bowen context when it came to soliciting feedback. We'll be using the Citizen Lab engagement platform.
Oh,
And it's the best option we have, Allison.
I hate it.
Yeah, well, get used to it because we're going to be using it going forward. They have been figuring out some other options that could be used for engagement, including sort of modified COVID protocol face-to-face engagement. And that's probably where we are in terms of their plan at the moment. Maybe some of the rest of you could contribute to some background.
Can you remind me who the working group is?
Myself, Vaughn, Edward,
Yes,
sorry,
Marcus.
Marcus, Stef, and I think that's it. Yeah.
So I'll just add that I think they actually, Thursday is the date of the launch of the survey that they're going to start. I have it on my calendar. The 18th, I believe. Was that not right?
It is in their schedule noted as the 18th, but I think we provided them with quite a lot of feedback at our last meeting with the request that we have an opportunity to see the survey before it's launched.
Yeah.
So I think we might have added a couple of days onto
Right.
their projected launch. I would expect to see it at some point next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Realistic.
And then the other part of that is that, of course, we talked about, you know, I think they have a good communication strategy, but, you know, we sort of committed the committee to helping in any way possible. So whether that's going to be in person down the line, where we help to do some sort of ambassador sort of activities, or sharing whatever they provide or what they're trying to put out there as much as we can personally on social media, spread it as much as you possibly can. And I think the important thing is, you know, is that we have some, you know, really excited sort of energy behind when we put any messaging out as committee members, that we're, you know, this is a really exciting thing we're doing, that the island is doing, and everyone please participate as much as you can, right? So as we go along, just keep that in mind. Anything you can do, it would be great.
I'd like to comment on the work plan. My first reaction to it was comprehensive. It was very professional. It is very, very tight. And I think we're going to see some slippage, not necessarily because of them, but because, for example, as Maureen said, we want to take a look at some of their materials before they're going out, and some of the collaboration between us and them is going to take a little more time. But all my interactions have been quite positive.
Now, Allison's reaction to Citizen Lab and my response, which was that's what we're using. I expect that there will be other members of the community who react similarly. And I'm wondering if maybe the committee could give some thought to that, how to engage people who are reluctant to engage on Citizen Lab.
What is your problem with Citizen Lab, Allison, a counselor?
I just like to have something that I can look at on my own time and my own leisure, write my notes on the side, and then send in my comments. I'm not engaged online back and forth with people.
Yeah. I guess the survey will meet that need in that there will be, you know, some, it'll be a mix of you know, structured questions and open-ended questions. So
And
the
survey won't be posted. Your answers to those questions won't be posted on Citizen Lab. It's like a Survey Monkey type survey.
It's similar, yeah.
Yeah.
There should be some opportunity for providing your feedback the way you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
with-
think that they have talked about the the functionality, I guess, is quite extensive. So I think there was even a suggestion that maybe how the municipality has used it before isn't it's not limited to those functions, and that as we go along it has other capabilities that we can add if we think there's something missing and that it's leaving some people out, or we can enhance its ability to include people's inputs. So I think there is some flexibility there, was my understanding.
With the budget consultation, you could also just download the PDF of all the materials and then provide your comments via email.
Okay, well, let's get it started, and then we can definitely tweak and make suggestions. They're very open to it, of course, and if we think anybody's being left out because of the modality they're using.
I think they're really sensitive to that.
Mm-hmm.
Their intent is to be as comprehensive as possible in the outreach that they do.
I guess my problem with Citizen Survey or Citizen Lab is people didn't ever like public meetings. And people that were used to public speaking, presidents of large corporations, they would never make a comment in a public meeting. And Citizen Lab is exactly the same, because you have to post your name and you have to register to post. Whereas a private comment in a survey, you'll get more, I think you'll get more of those types of people responding.
Yeah, so we have a survey as well as participation through Citizen Labs. So I think, like I said, let's just see how it gets started, what we get, and then we'll have to probably adjust if we're like, oh, there's, we're not getting this, or we're getting too much of that, or whatever. Yeah. So, okay, anybody else have any comments on that?
I'm just wondering, is this going to everybody? Like, is engagement like every resident on Bowen? I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
The idea behind the entire engagement strategy is not just to talk to businesses. It's about engaging the entire island in really a plan about how to make life, really good to live on Bowen, basically, or the quality of life in Bowen. So it doesn't just concern actual businesses. It's supposed to be far-reaching, more far-reaching. Yeah.
Well, I would just, without really knowing much, I want to second Allison's comment about, I think there's a lot of older people that will not engage digitally, so that to be able to offer something in writing. And I suspect the hesitation for somebody doing that is then somebody has to do the data entry into the system. So I can understand that's more time consuming and costly, but I would hate to see anybody who wants to give feedback not have the opportunity.
No, they've definitely, we that was one of the things we brought up in the beginning, was the harder to reach people that we never hear from. And that might include seniors, or it might include people who are just new, or we just don't even know who are here. So there will be some like focus groups with various individuals. And then there will also be like perhaps a presence put a table at the school, so you actually reach all the parents, and they will have physical materials to hand out with information. So
Right.
it's a kind of a varied approach. Yeah.
My comment was not about people that are hard to reach and aren't digitally fluent.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So I think between us, we can all be sort of having an eye out for who are we, when we start getting these feedback, who are we not reaching, who are we missing, and we can continue to work with the consultants to ensure that happens.
And just in terms of the overall timeline, Ed mentioned that it's very tight, and it is. The completion date is September. So they will be working pretty flat out in the next couple of months.
Yeah. Okay. Can we move on then to Rod, talking about the Rural Islands Economic Partnership? Did you want to have comments there?
Yeah, for sure. I'll try not to go on too long here, but I did recently talk to Francine, who's the chairperson of the committee, the board of directors now of the Rural Island Economic Partnership Society. She asked if we would have a director from Bowen join, and she had asked me specifically if I would consider becoming a director of the organization. I was happy to entertain the idea, and I'm thinking that I will do that. What that would entail primarily would be online meetings, but the organization is still contemplating an upcoming forum, probably not in this calendar year, like the one we had in 2019. But one of the main things that the organization is doing right now is they actually have a $90,000 rural island dividend fund project, and it's for shared services. It was based not for the organization initially, my understanding, but it was actually based on an application that was made through Opportunity Salt Spring, and that has been spread and diversified. So they've just recently hired a full-time marketing and business development person to put that deliverable together. And then they're looking at some other substantial both funding and outreach to increase island comeback, which is the gift certificate program, but also to put together shared services primarily for e-commerce, but also potentially looking at shared services for bookkeeping, business planning, business development for small businesses in the Rural Islands economic area. So that's exciting. I'm quite interested in that. I'd love feedback from the committee in terms of both whether you think that we should have a Bowen Island director representative on their board, and if you'd be supportive either as a resource person or otherwise if I was to do that, or if you're interested in doing something like that, let me know as well. I think it would the idea with the Rural Island Economic Partnership is not just to liaise with this committee, but both the municipality and our organizations on Bowen, the tourism and arts and other not-for-profit organizations, to really strengthen our island culture and community. So moving on from that, I had another note here. I'm just going to bring up my notes and make sure I don't miss anything. One thing that we do need, and I'll just throw that out to anyone who happens to have it, is a great picture for Bowen Island that represents Bowen Island for the header of the new upcoming updated website for the Rural Islands Economic Partnership. So, a landscape photo or something with people, I'm not sure, but but it would be a website header, like landscape type style photograph.
You mean a banner, Rod? Or...
A banner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can get dimensions and so on, but if someone has a line on that, you just happen to have one, or you could recommend a Bowen photographer who might have something in their inventory. Really great to have something to start with there.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you get us the dimensions, and maybe I can reach out to a few local photographers and see what they can come up with.
That'd be terrific.
There's also Raphael and then Tristan. I've purchased professional photographs from them for my own website, and I have a really nice one of the marina.
Okay, yeah.
I think I have the marina one. I might have purchased it for multiple use. So I think some of them I only get one time, and sometimes I get more. So yeah, I can check that into that too. I might have something already.
Okay. Yeah, and that would be great if we could purchase a photograph. I wonder if our committee could purchase it, and because it would be representing our Bowen Island section on the page, and look at that. We'll have to talk about that. But okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is, which I really wanted to bring up, is in my conversation with Francine, it sounds like the Islands Economic Trust, the ICE-T organization, is really making some bold moves. There's going to be some funding announcements coming out, but they have about a $15 million funding pot right now, and this is from Francine. She pointed out to me that we are the only rural island not included in the ICE-T basket group, and the other thing is there is precedent for other municipalities that have been included, including Nanaimo and Ladysmith on Vancouver Island. So I don't know, Maureen, maybe in particular you might have more comment on that, but Francine was very encouraging that this is a time when, if we were to lobby to be included in that pool, that ICE-T catch area, that this would be an important time to get that message out there.
We have done so in the past, Rob, not successfully, and that would have been around the time we were successful in gaining eligibility for the dividend fund.
Yeah.
Perhaps Wendy might have some views on this. Wendy, can I put you on the spot?
Sure, Maureen. So yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, I think Maureen was right. There was some, I think, investigation initially, and maybe some initial communication. I'm not sure, to kind of explore, where the thinking was in terms of, ICE-T interests, as well as Bowen's Islands possibility to advocate and be included. I mean, it's from what I understand, it's there is a process, I guess, behind anything. I mean, I think if there is an interest from the municipality to look at, having conversations with the Ministry of Jobs, Economic Recovery and Innovation. So they are the ministry that kind of administers the funding agreements with the, I believe they're five trusts or thereabouts anyways across the province, and ICE-T is one of them. Then I think, let's look at reviving those conversations again. I mean, I think, it is interesting where, when we had that conversation back in the day, I think RIEP was not yet in a formal existence. And now, we have, an organization for the rural islands. This point, Rod, that you had mentioned, it's not left unnoticed. We've had some informal, look at how to, have a better representation for Bowen too. I mean, this is not something that we've not considered. I think it's just, it's just one of those processes, and how can we, look at, advocating for inclusion, if that's what Bowen Island would like to see. I mean, we have, for sure, we have RIEP now. And we've had, when we advocated for Bowen Island to be included as part of the RDP process, and consideration, there, there was that process to be done, and we were able to successfully make that happen. And so let's consider, how do we want to make this happen if there is a will and a desire from the municipality to do so.
I think there would be at this point. My recollection is that we stopped pursuing this because ICE-T didn't have any money, and there were other areas that has been more fruitful, but that has changed with some of the things that Rod has mentioned.
And like many things, the pandemic brought about many changes as well. So maybe it is timely to kind of revisit this again. Yeah, for sure.
So how do we go about?
I think one of the first steps maybe would be to kind of re-engage with Jerry, the Jobs Economic Ministry, and see how we would, put forward a case. That would be, but let's kind of take that off the line if we can. But I think that would be one of the first considerations that we need to look at.
So would that be you, Wendy, or would they come?
With my ministry counterparts in Jerry, and also initiate some kind of a discussion, I guess, with them to see what is it that this potential influx. I'm not sure where all that is playing out, but if there is, then let's have that conversation with them. And I'll also take it back internally to my ministry and bring it up, because this is something that has been raised now. And I will seek their input to see how we would want to provide more information to you guys. But I think it definitely warrants, further a further look at how we want to proceed on this.
Would a council resolution be helpful, Wendy, or would that be in the way, in your opinion?
Good point. Good. What's the timing to get a council resolution? Fairly, through this committee's resolution, or through your municipal, like your mayor and council resolution?
If we had a recommendation today, it could be on next Monday's council agenda.
Yeah. If I'll leave that with you. I mean, if that's what if there is that urgency, and I'd say let's look at that then. If we feel like there is that urgency to be included. Yeah.
What do you think, Allison? Can't hear you.
It's worth a try, and if we pass the resolution today, we get it to Hope. I think we would get it on the agenda. Probably.
So I don't really understand what ICE-T does. So I'm kind of wondering, I guess, so I'm hearing that you're pretty comfortable with, that we can just assume that it's a positive thing to be part of that, and there's no obligations or, negative sort of.
It was set up when the forestry market, the Northern Island, Vancouver Island. I mean, it doesn't go all the way down Vancouver Island. Like, I think it leaves out Victoria. Now, whether it picks up Sioux, the electoral area out there, but the whole economy crashed up there because of the lumber logging industry. And so it's the Islands Community Economic Trust is what, and they funded one up in the north and one up in the Kootenays as well, right, Wendy? And so the province put money in to help promote the economic development in those areas.
So it's a resource for our community then, rather than,
yeah. So
it's not like you have to be like
a money resource,
pay thousands in membership fees and things like that.
No,
it's really a
no,
resource.
It's a provincial pot that's distributed by a board. I think.
Great.
I'm not totally sure. The Columbia one has a board.
Yeah, you're right, Alison. So I think in the north, there is the Northern Development Initiative Trust, NDIT, and then the interior, there is one as well, Southern Interior, SIT, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
I mean, yeah.
So do we need a resolution, or sorry, a yeah, resolution
A
for,
recommend-
Maureen was
Recommendation.
A
busy working on
recommendation
that
for
while I
the-
was talking, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if this does it, but that the Community Economic Development Committee recommend to Council that staff resume discussions with the province on Bowen Island's potential inclusion in iced tea and spell out iced tea.
Do we not want something maybe that council send a letter?
Send a letter to the province rather than resuming.
Well, staff resuming discussions and that the mayor be authorized to send a letter supporting
Do
our
we-
inclusion in iced tea.
Do we want to hear what Wendy says when she comes back from her discussion, if a letter is appropriate?
Well, I think she talked about a council resolution, so
Letter?
you could put in if appropriate in there.
Okay.
Yeah, Stef, what do you have? Can you show us?
Oh.
It was
It's really small because my computer's still acting up and my Word program's not working. So it's just going to be in the software. You can see it. You see it here?
Yes.
You can see it? Okay. I don't know that.
What am I look? Oh, there.
To council staff, did you say resume discussion?
Yeah, but I'm not sure to what extent staff actually initiated the discussion. I think it was.
So you want that to say that
Well, just say
write a
initiate.
letter?
Initiate discussion with the province.
Yeah.
Regarding Bowen Island's inclusion?
And that could include a letter, Allison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Inclusion in, and iced tea stands for,
Island Community Economic Trust.
thank you.
Post, I think. Anyway,
Put in.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's Island Coastal.
Island Coastal Economic.
I think that's enough. I think it's enough to get on council as a whole's radar and to remind them of a number of points that were left off maybe a year or more ago. We had some contact with the federal government and with ICE around about the same time. So
Yeah.
if you considered resurrect that, both of those discussions, but start with ICE because that's the one where there's sort of the most obvious inequity in so many other communities being part of the trust.
Because the Sunshine Coast was included.
Yeah. So
it was done on they're usually done on regional district boundaries.
Yeah, and we
So-
were included because we were part of Metro.
Yeah. But the Sunshine Coast is the Sunshine Coast Regional District. So I don't think they excluded any of that regional
good.
district.
So
And
this
then-
is a good lead, Broad. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Good
I
work,
guess the
Rod.
other, well, and maybe we should, maybe it doesn't need to be in our recommendation, but reaching out to our MLAs and our MLA and saying that we're interested in this.
Why don't we let Wendy
Yeah.
do an initial
Yeah.
sort of like suss it
Yeah.
out, and then we can see if that sort of thing would be helpful or.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
So-
authorizes our CAO to go and suss out as well.
So I'll move that.
I'll second.
Okay, good.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay.
Okay, that was a lot longer than 5 minutes. Thanks, Fawn.
But we didn't get to your first part, which was you
Oh,
asked the
well,
question about being a director on the board, and I'm just going to say, yes, I'm totally supportive. Is anybody else interested in doing that? Okay, you have our full support, Rod.
okay, well, thanks, Vaughn. I appreciate it, everyone, and look to bring lots of exciting discussion back here.
Excellent. Okay. So we're moving on to updates from the province. Hey, Wendy.
Hey there. All right. So, so it's a few things, I guess I'll update you on. Number one is the, I'm just pulling up my notes here too. Number one are the, there have been funding programs that have been announced. One was announced late last year, the Community Economic Recovery Infrastructure Program, or CEREP for short. And in that program, there were three separate streams. There was the Community Economic Resilience stream, there was the Rural Economic Recovery stream, and the third was the Destination Development stream for the tourism sector. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I understand that the outcomes for that program are expected to be announced fairly shortly. If Bowen Island had applied for funding to any of those streams, keep a watch on either their website. It's expected to be out, I was told, mid-February, so anytime from now till like, till the end of February. So they're just finalizing some government communication details, but wanted to let you know on that. And the other thing really is on the just-in-time economic recovery calls that have been now in the works for, I guess, the last maybe 3 months or so. It was really created out of a necessity arising from, again, the pandemic and the recovery and resiliency of local governments and municipalities. And basically the number of provincial funding programs that have been announced as in increased, I guess, frequency. So this was developed with my counterparts on the island, and we work with partnership with local communities to serve as meeting hosts, and these funding sessions are for the Lower Mainland, the Sea to Sky, Vancouver Island, Sunshine Coast, and Rural Islands. As soon as a funding announcement is typically made. So they're brief, only 30 minutes long, short presentation by the funding ministry, and then time for Q's and A's. So I absolutely encourage folks to participate and attend those calls if you're available to do so. That's it. Questions?
And how do we find out about those calls? Sorry.
So I usually send them to Stef, who's on my mailing list, and will then.
So I do get a little. I'm constantly trying to balance overwhelming people with information or not providing enough information. So everyone's interested in receiving all these emails about the sort of, is it bi-weekly, Wendy?
It's usually when a funding announcement is released. So the last one was back to back, was a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends. But Vaughn, you know what? I can also include you. I think, that would be good as well. I mean, as a new chair, I think
Sure.
Rod on my list. So yeah, so I can do that for sure.
Why don't you just do that, and then we don't have to bombard the whole committee.
Yeah. And then Jody's attended as well. Jamie, you would probably, they're great. So great sessions.
Okay. Thank you, Wendy. That's it for your comments?
That is all for today.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to council update.
Take that and then hand it over to Allison.
I have to go get my agendas to remind me, because they're on the iPad that I'm talking to you on.
I've got my highlights in front of me, so I'm just assuming that everybody checks their council highlights. You can sign up for those through the municipality. There are a number of things on the last agenda that are relevant, important for this committee. One is that Daniel Martin, our planner, presented a report at the February 8th meeting on the development potential, the growth potential for Bowen Island. And the focus of this particular report was on what I'm calling sort of the baked in growth potential for the island. Building that can take place on island without any further council approvals, because the land is privately owned and currently vacant. The land is subdividable under current zoning, or the land is part of a comprehensive development, such as the one at Arbutus Ridge or at Grafton Lake. And when you add up all of those, there's a potential for as much as 900 lots with development potential on the island. So this was intended as, and just Daniel will add a number of caveats to that. You know, there may be issues around water supply or riparian area, or the topography makes the development impossible. So that's sort of a peak number, and we don't really know exactly what the bottom number might be until such time as some of that land is developed. So one of the purposes of doing this exercise was to really get an understanding of the context within which future development decisions by this council or subsequent councils, the context within which those decisions were being made, and the impact on things like transportation, including ferry capacity and water, and also just desirable levels of density on the island and where that should take place. So the report itself is really informative. I'd recommend everyone read it. It was referred
Will
out,
Daniel be bringing it to the committee?
it was referred out to 5 different committees, which gives you an indication of its significance. So it's coming to us. It's going to the Advisory Planning Commission. It's going to Parks and Trails. It's going to Transportation, and it's going to somebody else. I can't remember what the 5th committee was. But,
APC?
APC, yeah. So that will probably be in the coming months, and we'll have an opportunity to discuss it in more detail with Daniel present. The other thing that's on the agenda that's relevant is that Councillor Kale, Michael and I presented a report to Council on a committee's review for the municipality, and we were authorized to proceed on the work plan that we presented. And the intention of the committee's review is to visit the structure and function of the committees of the municipality, excluding the water districts. You've no doubt heard that Bowen Island has a very large number of committees in comparison to other municipalities. And sometimes there were questions raised about whether it's the most effective, most efficient way of getting the work of committees done, and also whether it leads to the best use of an enormous amount of volunteer capacity for the island. So in the coming week, you can read sort of more details in the report itself. You can read the list of purposes of this review, and it will kick off with in probably about 2-3 weeks time with a meeting of all of the committee chairs for the municipality. So probably a meeting of like 15 or so chairs, just getting together to have a kickoff meeting. There'll be a survey later of all committee members, asking them for their suggestions about how this is going for them, what might be done to improve things. And then there'll be a set of recommendations that come to council. If things work out as scheduled, probably by July. It might take a little bit longer, but we're going to take the time to do the job well. And the recommendations may simply be things are great, no changes needed, or there might be some general recommendations, might be some specific recommendations. And you'll have an opportunity, everyone will have an opportunity to have some input into that. So are there any questions on that?
Sorry, who did the study?
It's beginning, Marcus.
The work plan was approved by council, and now the study will commence.
Okay.
That's Councillor Nicholson and Kale.
Excellent. Okay, that'll be interesting. Really interesting. Yeah.
And then there's some other items on the council highlight that, Allison, did you want to say anything about any of it?
The only thing is, did you mention Michael resigning from the committee?
Oh, no, I didn't. He felt that
Yeah.
3 councillors was overkill. So he bids
Oh,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more to pick up
That
on.
reminds me, I guess we are looking for new members, aren't we? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments around that?
Nope.
Questions? Okay. Staff report. Staff update.
I don't have any update.
Okay, good. Tourism Bowen Island.
I don't have anything urgent as well. One thing that came down in the council meeting the other day and is kind of topical is the taking down of the tree for the fire hall. And I know on Facebook there's been a lot of things going on there. So I had a question that is not necessarily relevant to this, but wondering if there's actually a tree protection bylaw in the municipality. My understanding that there's not. And then the other thing that is really related to that, and I'm just wondering from a community economic development perspective, for instance, the survey sounded like that's going to be coming. I think one of the things is I would love to see nature, which is part of environment, has so many implications, but also it being included as a value of community economic development, that sort of broadening our perspective about the value of nature and trees, and how that is part of our community and giving more value to that. So, that's sort of a personal sort of objective that I would love to see. And I'm wondering if the survey that is going to be done, if there's going to be talk about that in a community economic development plan, because I think most people that live here value nature, and also it's one of our huge assets as far as sustainable tourism, is that people come out of the city to enjoy nature, the trees, the parks that were so accessible. So, that's really stemming from a personal perspective, but I see how that really fits into community economic development and the community where we live, and including that in how we look at economic development.
Let me echo in that and agree. And Maureen can kick in on this too, because the research you've done. 2 themes seem to pop up all the time about Bowen. One is the sense of community, the other is the sense of nature and the environment, this pristine island on which we live. And I think it needs to be highlighted more. And Maureen knows I've been pushing that for 5 years, but I think it's key because nature is an asset. It is why people come here to spend money. It's why people come here to live. It's why, in many ways, small businesses are started on Bowen, because people come here to live. And they say, I don't want to spend all my time on the ferry commuting, and they look for ways to make a living. And they will, in fact, our research strongly suggest people will sacrifice monetary gain for the ability to live in such an area, pristine area. So I think it's certainly something that needs to be forefront. It is part of our community. It's probably part of our values.
Which our consultants have been, we've pointed them to that more than once, I think.
Yes, we have.
And Edward's had a good chat with one of them about, you know, from the values perspective and all of the work that he's done. So yes, that's our intention. This is not a business plan. It is a community plan, right? So
Excellent. Good to hear.
okay. Okay, any more comments or we can move on? Okay, we have Jamie, do you want to have an update from the Hearth?
Sure, I'd love to. We're right in the last week of our mini artworks fundraising show. Just a little bit of information, I guess, to get you all excited about the show is we have a record number of pieces this year and a lot of new artists that have never participated in the show before. So for some reason, people are feeling inspired, creative, and we're very happy to participate in our fundraiser. This Saturday is the last day to bid on any pieces. So if you've come in and you want to upbid, Maureen, Edward, those of you that have already been in, come on back in by Saturday and up your bids. And if you haven't bid yet, come on in and at least just come and have a look at the show. It's pretty amazing. We also have had record numbers of people coming into the gallery because of the show. On average, 40 to 50 people a day that are coming in just to feel the creativity and the just the really the good story about this art show. So we are seeing a lot of traffic, which is really great in safe numbers, of course. But anyway, I think that's probably
exciting.
the
Jamie,
biggest
can you just
update.
remind me how long the gallery, what the hours of the gallery are?
Sure, we're closed on Tuesday, Wednesdays,
Okay.
and open the rest of the time from 11 to 4.
11 to 4, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So come
Good,
on
I haven't
down.
stopped down yet. I'll try and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, just, you know, the next, well, not the next show, but the next show after that. So the sort of March, April show is a new show that that I brought with me, a concept I brought with me from Invermere, and it's called Primary Colors. It's art from kids on the rock. So it's this year it's the the community school, right? Did I get that right? Yes, okay. BIX, thank you. Sarah and I have been working really hard together to make sure that all the kids from that school will have art on the walls at the Hearth for about a month. So it will push people that are in the community that may not ever come into an art gallery, but they will now because their kids' art will be on the wall. And then there'll be a small fundraiser as well for us. So watch for that, Primary Colors. It's the first annual featuring kids' art.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie. Okay. Oh my goodness, I think we're done.
I've got a plug.
Go ahead.
For the info items, the third one I included the Small Business Awards. So I think I first sent it out to nominate a business. It's a funny structure where there's no sort of timeline where you nominate the business and then they sort of release a list of who's nominated and then you vote. You're allowed to nominate up to the very last day. So I already did a plug about nominating, but now just at the end of your agenda, there's a link. Please don't forget to vote.
Okay.
For small business on Bowen. And you can just search Bowen and they'll be all the Bowen businesses.
Great. Okay, thank you.
It's free to vote.
Vote often.
Yeah, one each.
Hey, Stef, is it just businesses or local organizations as well?
I think businesses.
Okay. In Invermere, we had the same sort of, concept, but local organizations were part of it.
Well, this is Small Business BC. So I
okay.
answered.
Okay, it's the
yeah.
Chamber of Commerce that does it in Invermere, and it's it's a way to recognize all working groups, I guess. In
Here,
your
I'll just look it
community.
up. Yeah, it says nominated business. Yeah, I can follow up if you want.
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we're done. Ready to adjourn?
Good job, Vaughn. Great chair.
Great meeting.
Margie record too, but she's great. Sorry about this morning.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
What's the date of the next meeting?
Ooh,
You don't know.
did we set a schedule?
Well, we said, I don't think it's been, we said Tuesdays, right? The what?
I
One,
think
two,
we set the
third
fourth
Tuesday?
Tuesday, didn't we? Or
The third Tuesday.
third Tuesday?
third Tuesday.
Okay.
So the
sorry.
16th of March.
Okay. 16th of March at 8:30. 16th at 8:30. Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank
Have a
you.
wonderful
Bye,
day.
everybody.
Yeah.
Guys,
Have
bye
a good
everyone.
day.
Guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.